tutorial, I will show you how to create a value stream map for a typical business structure using the Cogintech Digital Twin Builder. Our software will quickly and easily allow you to visualize the steps from product creation to delivering it to the customer, which will aid with introspection and process improvement for your business. Firstly, if you have not done so already, you must make an account. To do this, click on the Digital Twin Builder sign up at the top right-hand corner of the website. This will take you to the registration menu where you can fill in your details. I already have an account, so I will log in. After the login page, we arrive at the main menu where there's a button to create a new project and a list of projects that have been recently used. We want to create a new project, so I will press the button and name my project Value Stream Map. On the left, we see the library of object classes. Objects are made by simply dragging and dropping the chosen one with your mouse from the library to the main diagram. You can then move them by dragging the top left-hand corner. On the right of the object, there is also a delete button. To make this simple value stream map, firstly, I will set the input to our production chain as being the supplier. To do this, I will add an object with the class input to the main diagram. To rename the object, simply double-click on it for a menu of its characteristics to appear on the right side of the screen. Each object has an ID, a name, which we will rename supplier, and its object class, which if necessary we could change here. Object type, which is not fully activated, but in the future will be available to group objects together. There's also a possibility to add a description for the object if required. Lower down, we see a description of the parameters defining our object. Each object has three main parameters: price, rate, and cost. To the right of these parameters, the highlighted ticks under the S column indicate that the parameters are visible under the object on the main screen. By default, they are visible, but since we are modeling the steps involved in the production process, not the actual production itself, we can remove the ticks. Okay. Let's suppose that from supplier to consumer, the product must go through 5 processes. So I will now add 5 process objects from the library to the main diagram. To connect these objects, we can click on the top right-hand corner of, for example, supplier, and then click on its associated object, which in this case is the first process. If necessary, it is possible to delete an unwanted arrow by simply using the delete key on your keyboard. Let's add this back and connect the rest of the processes. We can now alter the parameters of each of the processes, double-clicking on the first one and firstly renaming it Process 1. In this tutorial, I will only add the operation time for each process, but by following the procedure which I will now demonstrate, you will be able to add any additional parameters such as the number of batches or uptime, for example, to any of the process objects. To add an operation time parameter, I will scroll down, click the arrow for price, rename it operation time, and add a value of, say, 5. I can also deselect rate and cost, as we aren't interested in these. I will now repeat the process for the other 4 processes. Okay, as you can see, I have renamed these processes and added, in my case, arbitrary values for the operation time. Let's finish this production chain by adding an output. Let's rename this customer. Deselect the parameters and then add it to the last process. Next, usually we expect there to be a delay or waiting time between each process, so let's add 4 board objects to the main diagram. These will simply indicate the waiting time between each process. I will rename the first waiting time 1, create a parameter time and assign it a value of 3, for example, and deselect rate and cost. I will now repeat this process with the other 4 board objects. The value stream map is now complete, but we may want to summarize the information that we have displayed in a final board object. Let's add this in. Double-clicking, renaming it results, for example, and now we can create some useful parameters that will summarize the information presented. The first of these could be useful time. For this parameter, we want to calculate the sum of all the process times. To do this, click the f of x button, which will open up a formula dialog. Here I can choose the appropriate parameters to be part of our formula, so I will select all the process objects separated by an addition sign. And then clicking OK. I will now repeat this process to create a parameter of waiting time, simply summing the waiting time objects in the formula dialog, and then creating a parameter of total time, which will be the sum of the last 2 parameters, useful time and waiting time. Okay, lastly, I will demonstrate how to create an effectiveness parameter, as the formula for this is slightly different. Creating a new parameter, renaming it effectiveness, going into the formula dialog, adding the useful time parameter, divided by the total time, multiplied by 100, clicking OK. Now we have a summary of all the information in this object, and we are finished. You can, of course, alter any of these parameters or create new ones to fit with your business and your needs. I hope this tutorial has been useful in showing you how to create a value stream map. Thank you for watching.